name is Sam Perry, and I am a certified group fitness instructor with Penn State Campus Recreation. Mental and physical health and well-being are critical, and being active will help you stay healthy and fit. Today, I'm going to teach you how to do a headstand. This is not a pose that is necessary to have in order to have a good, strong yoga practice. It's just something that you can work towards if you have some free time. I'll show you 5 exercises to get your body moving and prepared to do our headstand, and then walk you through how to get into this pose. To begin, we'll do a small spinal warm-up with some cat-cows. We'll come to a position on all fours, making sure the hips are stacked directly above the knees and the shoulders are stacked directly above the wrists. We'll spread the fingers nice and wide. Inhale, we'll drop the belly, lift the chest, pulling those shoulder blades back and down. When we exhale, we'll pull the belly button in towards the spine, rounding the back, press away the mat to separate the shoulder blades. Inhale, reversing this motion, letting the belly drop, the chest rise. Exhale, rounding the back here, pressing away the mat. You can even add a couple bends of the elbow as you come down and then back up, warming up the arms as well. Feel free to take about 5 on each side so that your spine feels nice and warmed up. When you're finished, you can come back to a neutral position and we'll go to our second exercise, plank. We want to warm up the core because it's our foundation for our balance, especially when we're upside down. So you can step the legs back from this position, letting your whole body in it be in a long line from your shoulders all the way back through your heels. Press away the mat, engaging the core, tucking the pelvis in towards the ribs. Making sure your back is not sagging down, engaging the core, or letting your butt come all the way up. Finding that nice position, you can also take this plank from our elbows. Try to stay here for 5 to 10 breaths. Really let that core strength build. I'll come back to high plank here to show you our next exercise, serrated push-ups. We want to warm up all those little muscles around the shoulders. By pressing away the mat, we'll separate the shoulder blades. And then come back down, letting the shoulder blades come together, keeping the core strong, but letting the chest drop a little bit. Inhale, we'll press away the mat. Exhale, we'll sink a little bit. You can also take these from your knees, pressing up and sinking down. You can do about 5 to 10 of these as well to make sure the shoulders are nice and warmed up. Our next pose is more of a stretch so that we can be able to get into our headstand. We'll come to a forward fold by taking a position seated on the mat, legs extended long, staff pose. Checking in with your pelvis, making sure it's straight up, not tipping back or forward. We'll reach all the way up through the crown of our head and start bending on a long spine. Your hands can come to your shins, stay at your waist, or reach all the way up. On each exhale, we'll bend a little bit further. Your max with this long spine, you can let your hands come to your shins, ankles, or toes and begin rounding the back. Once here, you can let the head hang heavy and focus on lengthening the backs of the legs. Maybe even pulling your toes if it's in your reach back towards you. Taking 5 to 10 breaths here in our forward fold. Slowly, you can start walking your hands back up beside you, unfolding here, and we'll come into our last pose, dolphin. Coming back to that forearms on the mat position. We'll bring them to the mat and grab opposite biceps to know that we have the right distance between our elbows here. We'll turn our hands to face forward and start to tuck the toes. Dolphin pose is just like downward dog, but just on our forearms. So we'll start to press through our hands and forearms and lift the hips up. You can press then back so your chest comes closer towards your toes. You can stay here, or you can introduce some movement by shifting forward and back. Finding the strength in your shoulders to press away the mat. You can also engage the core here as well, getting your body used to being upside down in this position. This is very similar to the position we'll use to get into our headstand. So if you'd like, you can walk your feet up closer towards your hands so your hips are almost stacked over your head. I'll come back down now to show you how we'll get into our headstand position. There are two ways: tripod with your hands separate from your head, and my personal favorite, with your forearms on the ground, clasping your head behind you. I'll show that one first because I believe it is the safest for beginners. So we're going to use the same trick, grabbing our opposite elbows or our biceps to make sure our elbows are the right distance. We'll bring our hands forward and then clasp the hands. I'll lift mine up so you can see. Our fingers are clasped, and we'll take our pinky finger and tuck it under here so we have just a little bit more surface area pressing against the mat. The very top of our head will go on the mat, and the back of our head will go cradled into our hands. So taking that check, situating our fingers, tucking the pinky finger under, and then placing the very top of the head in the ground, we'll come into that dolphin position with our head prepared for headstand. Slowly you can start to walk your feet towards your face, and then we'll just play with picking up one foot, hugging the knee into the chest, and then the other. Trying to get those hips stacked. Maybe you pick up both. Using your strength here in your core, pressing away the mat with your shoulders. Then maybe you can extend up, pressing the legs together, keeping the core engaged. Always coming back down nice and slow to our mat, and finding child's pose once we are down. Slowly you can rise up. Another great tool for headstand for beginners. It can be pretty scary to kick up, which we are trying not to do. We want our hips stacked above our head, so you can use a wall. I'll use this kind of post behind me to show you. So we'll come into a forward folding prep position with our feet against our wall, taking notice to where our hips are at this moment. We'll kind of mark that with our hands, turn around, and that is where our head will be. We'll set up for our headstand and then slowly walk our feet up the wall. So in this position, we're supported by the wall behind us, knowing that we're not going to fall here. We can press our weight more into that wall and focus on using our arms to press away the floor so less weight is on our heads. We can also practice core engagement in that position to make sure we're not arching the back in our headstand. Our other variation is a tripod headstand, where our hands are separate from our head. We'll place them about mat width distance apart, and then our head will go about a foot in front of this position. We're going to have a 90-degree angle here with the arms, but just upside down. I find it helpful to come in this position using your knees on your elbows. So we'll place the very top of the head on the mat. You can lift your hips up, placing the knees on the elbows. We'll rise. You can stay here, or you can engage the core and press up, making sure we're pressing into the mat with our hands to relieve some of that weight off the head. Once again, coming back nice and slow, and back to our mat, taking a child's pose upon return. And that is our headstand Feel free to practice, use all of those exercises, and just get comfortable with it. Don't take yourself so seriously, have some fun, and be safe.